4th and Liberty Street. And I remember being on this porch part of my time here in Springfield, most of my time, and playing with the kid that lived here and his sister, and their folks were so kind. Well, I don't know what, Phil had a rope of some kind, and he tied around one of these posts. And I might or might not try that today, but I have done some crazy things like that, and Phil would slide down that rope, down along this pillar, and off we'd go. And, I spent time at Manatee Rutherford, where I first started going to school, right here on 5th and Hubbard Street. We walked everywhere we went. We walked to Andrew Jackson or hitched rides. We'd get so much lunch money a day, 35 cents a day for lunch. Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't squander it, we'd save it. I'd buy a Coke or a pack of crackers for lunch, and that'd be it. Good days, good times.
If you'll introduce yourself and tell us where you were born.
My name is Al Saffer. I was born here in Jacksonville, Florida, in the old St. Luke's Hospital that used to be on 8th and Boulevard Streets. And I lived at 3rd and Ionia Street, and I lived there through my high school ages. I graduated from Andrew Jackson in 1952 and went straight to work for the City of Jacksonville Electric and Water Department.
Okay, and you're going to give us a tour of the neighborhood and tell us some stories today.
The best I can.
Okay.
My dad worked at Ford Motor Company in Detroit, Michigan when he first came here in 1901. And he shoveled coal there for years. Hot, bad, tough job. And my mom came here a little after that with her mother and siblings, and she came here to Jacksonville. And they had some kin here in Jacksonville that knew my dad and thought my mom and dad would make a nice couple. So they brought him down here to meet my mom, and they married, and here I am.
And we're driving down 4th Street right now on the east side.
Around here?
Next block.
Okay.
I lived in the second house down here on Walnut Street with a friend of mine when I first moved out from home. Okay, there were houses all along here. And Mr. Rayberg's house, he owned 3 houses where those 2 lots were and the house behind it there. He was a neighbor that was a lot better off than the rest of us were. My little friend Billy and my wife's friend Billy lived here. There was a 2-story building. And this is where my wife's mom and my wife lived, and her brothers and sisters. And it's now gone. And that building there's been put here since then. It was also a 2-story building like the one behind us. We played many a football game under this street light. And the lady that lived in the nice house across the street would have the police out here every night because we'd play till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. All the kids would gather around this corner here. There's a fire hydrant.
That was the meeting place?
That was where, where we used to meet. 2 of my best friends and then the house on the corner. Real good folks.
And who did you meet at the fire hydrant?
I met my first wife.
She was just riding by?
No, I was on my bicycle, and I was propped up along that fire hydrant there, and she came up with one of her girlfriends that lived next door and kind of hit it off.
How old were you?
I think I was about 14. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
How long before you got married?
I think we got married when I was 19.
Wow.
All these were two-story houses here. They've changed a lot. They've gone and put nice houses in here. There was a beautiful house here on the corner that had a wraparound. It was a one-story home, had a wraparound porch. And it's gone.
And this is Ionia.
That is where I spent my life right there. My teen life.
Do you want to get out?
If you want to, we can park right in the shade here.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
You could peek
So this
inside.
was the corner store.
Yep. I'll park here in the shade.
You built that
I
wall?
built that wall. And the reason it's peaked like it is as kids, we'd walk every wall to school. Like, see those walls there?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want anybody walking on my wall. So my dad bought me some cement, and I spent all day keeping that cement from flattening out, building a peak in that wall. And there it is.
Then why didn't you want people walking on your wall?
Just didn't want to walking on my wall.
Yeah.
My mom owned 1, 2, 3, 4 houses, these 4. No, I think Miss Bishop lived there. She was a piano player and opera singer. I think that's the same house. There was an alley that ran right beside that.
Yeah, yeah.
And as a matter of fact, to get
Your
to school,
mom owned all these,
she owned these 4.
and there wasn't anything here?
There was another one there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I see.
From the alley to the street.
Yeah.
And the policeman lived there. He bought it after he moved. But he would sit there, and anything that went wrong out here, if he seen a man stumble out the front door, he'd call the police. His name was Mr. King.
So I'm confused. This was the store.
That was it. The roof's gone off of it. He's
And
got
where
a,
did you live?
right here.
Right next door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's got a terrarium in there.
So you did this all by yourself, this little wall.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
good handiwork.
Well, the guy that used to come and visit told me how to store the cement. Of course, you can tell it's not professionally done. All this used to be a big porch. And we built a bedroom there for my sister. And my brother and I lived in the bedroom behind it. Original front door.
Really?
And it was a huge porch. I wonder if he's home. He let us look around in there to show us what he was doing.
Yeah?
And of course, the roof has been gone off of the store for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
What years did your parents have the store?
they moved from east side on Verdier Street. And let's see, I was 6 years old, so I'd have been it'd been 1940. And most of my time was spent out here in this front. We had beautiful St. Augustine grass and a push mower, one of those old type. Did I hate pushing that mower? I've got a picture of myself that I should have brought before we added the back of this building. There was a plum tree right in that corner and a clothesline running from there to the house with me hanging Mom's clothes up on that
Right here?
on that line, right here where this addition has been. And before this addition was put up here, they had a sand pile right about here to build cement with. And I used to get up on top of the house off the garage, jump over to the store, and my dad told me not to be up there, the roof would leak. I didn't mind him so. One day I was at the front waving at cars as they went by, and I heard him holler, "Albert!" And when that Albert comes out, I know something's wrong. He knows I'm up here on this roof. I got a running start and jumped, thought was jumping in that sand pile, went over it, hit the ground, and he found me there with both ankles sprained. Right then I didn't get punished, but because they had to take me to the doctor. But boy, I tell you, when I got well, I paid for it. There was a little walkway in there that he's boarded up now. The palm tree wasn't there. There's an old bathtub. I'd like to have that.
Yeah.
We had one small bath. I mean, a real small one. They've added a bath to this place. There was 3 of us kids, Mom and Dad. I mean, that thing took up half the bathroom, seriously. But this part of the store, there was a door back here, and Mom had a different kitchen from the one in the house. A whole new kitchen and tables in there where folks would come drink their beer and have a dinner, and boy, they loved her cooking too. And Dad liked to fish a lot. He'd catch those big red bass and bring them home, and she'd fix those things up, and boy, I tell you, there was some good eating.
Where'd your dad go fishing?
We went to North Jetties, believe it or not, where the Naval Air Station is now, where Mayport is. I mean, yeah, it was all just rocks on each side of the river. Nothing was biting. We'd go up the Hexer Drive and go down to the South Jetties. He knew where the fish. Sometime we'd go to Ponte Vedra. He had a place picked out down there. It had a little gully in the ocean with ocean fish, and boy, fish were plentiful. I'm telling you. He caught 5 fish off the beach pier. When I was small, they were as tall as I were, and they said, we have a contest going. You need to enter this thing. When he caught his first 2, he said, okay. He caught 3 more and won the most beautiful rod and reel that I've ever seen.
Wow.
And my little old fire pit was right here. I used to burn in the street. Everything I'd rake up, I'd burn in the street right here. And when this was a brick street, and when they first paved this street, it melted the asphalt in it. And the city came over here.
Oh no.
And just told my mom and dad, he can't burn here anymore. My little friends, the pig pens lived right there. And we used to sit here in the backyard and throw ice picks, stick them in the roof. They didn't know we were doing it, but we'd see if we could stick an ice pick in the roof of their house. And little Johnny Pigpen was sitting there with his knees up. I missed the roof, and that ice pick went right in his knee.
Oh, yikes.
And he screamed, and I screamed later on when my dad got through with me. Get this. My first kiss was a little red-headed girl. It was right there, a little German girl. And,
That house?
Yeah. And we'd play in a big bamboo bush that was right here. You get in that bush, nobody could see you. It was a beautiful street. They had sycamore trees about every 20 feet, all the way down. And when fall came, they would cover this, leaves would cover this whole street.
Oh, that must have been nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Part of it was back here. Yeah, Springfield Court north. I lived on Springfield Court south, which was right behind these houses. It was a little circle. And Mr. Swisher had these houses built for his employees. He sold them to them, I guess.
I've heard they had some interesting employee benefits and practices, and they had a daycare on site long before that was a thing.
Yeah. But it wasn't grown up like this. People kept these houses real neat. Put a little circle, went around and back to the other side.
Were you and your neighbors upset when that happened? And that was probably in the 60s, right?
Well, yeah, we were somewhat upset, but we had some good attorneys, and I paid $8,000 for that little house, and I lived there about maybe 6 or 8 years, and I got $11,000 for it. Back then, I was really grateful because it helped me move to where I
a
moved
bigger
to.
house.
And there was a small company at the time, Berman Brothers Scrap Yard. They were on the other side of that railroad track, and I could walk to my house over there and find car parts for my old '50 Ford, and that's what I put that car together with those old parts.
Where'd you get your first car?
Let's see, I bought it from 123 Riverside Avenue. It was a car lot over there. It was a red '50 Ford. Paid, I think, $900 for it. And that was a real sweet car. Let's see, where are we? Take you by Jackson High School. You know where that is?
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have air conditioning. And I had a Spanish teacher right at the first corner on Main Street downstairs. And she kept trying to teach me Spanish. She kept calling me Senor Alberto. No, yeah, something like that. And I was too interested in watching them build Bailey's Drive-In at the time. The bulldozers were over there across the street, the windows were open. There was a railroad track on the east side here off 21st Street. The railroad ran right through our utility yard for JEA. And I used to pick up prisoners, and at the old Gun Cub prison farm there on Main Street that's closed now, they moved the prison. I'll pick them up and take them to work over here where I worked at on Pearl Street and unload terracotta brick and some sand and stuff. I've had about 15 guys. I had a van to pick them up in, and they'd unload all that stuff off of box cars. And I guess I was kind of a guard or something. Then I'd take them back to lunch and eat that prison food with them, and then bring them back out here and then take them back at night.
I bet that was interesting.
Oh yes, it was. They were some nice guys. I remember one big heavy-set black guy. His jaw was swollen, and I called his name, I don't know what it was, and I said, "Man, what's the matter?" He said, "Man, I got a toothache and they won't do nothing for me. I've had it for 2 days," and tears were coming out of his eyes. He said, "I gotta sit down." I said, "Why'd they let you come out here?" He said, "Mr. Al, I don't know." He said, "But if I can get away from here, I'm gonna get away. Can you help me?" I said, "Well, I don't know." And I went in and talked to the guys about it, and they said, "Al, we can't do anything about that. They don't belong to us." So we worked about 2 hours that morning, and I heard one of our guys say, there he goes," and he was going over the back fence of the yard out here. I'm gonna show you where it is. And he disappeared over in that project back there, and everybody ran around there with guns and everything trying to find him. They couldn't find him. About 4 o'clock that afternoon, just before I was supposed to take him back, he showed up. He went somewhere and had his tooth pulled. And he said, he walked in and said, "Man, I'm sorry. I don't know what they did to him. We didn't do anything to him, but I was so glad that he got that done. I felt so sorry for him." You know, St. Luke's was down there on the corner of Boulevard and 8th Street.
So where they currently have UF Health.
Yeah.
That's where you were born?
Yeah.
Was this grocery store on 7th and Pearls here when you lived here?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was going to take y'all to around 11th Street down there. There was another Setzer's that I worked in down there. And at 3rd, we came by 3rd and Market. There was a Setzer's there that I worked at. And my dad says, you need to be working in your own store. I was over the produce department there.
What was the name of your dad's store?
3rd and I owned a grocery and market.
And did you pronounce it Ionia or Iona?
Iona is what we called it.
Mm-hmm.
But lately people have been calling it Ionia because it's spelled that way.